In this video, I'm going to show you a strategy to rank in every single town in your service area using my local SEO strategy. And inside this video, you're going to learn practical ways and over-the-shoulder training on how to actually get this done if you're managing your own site or if you're managing your client sites as an agency. Now guys, if you're finding value from these videos, please make sure that you click that like button and you subscribe to the channel, as well as turn on post notifications so you get notified each and every time that I upload. Now, probably one of the biggest questions that I get asked is, Ruan, how do I show up in my clients' or my business's local service areas? And often it's not an easy question to answer because there are so many variables that go into it. SEOs tell you that you have to buy backlinks. SEOs tell you that you have to have good page user experience. But is it really that easy? Well, today's video, we're going to find out exactly how, and we're going to start with understanding your local listings. Listings are critical because they tell Google exactly where you're located, your business hours, and the services that you provide for your customers. Now, setting up your Google My Business isn't enough. You actually have to get your listings consistent across each and every platform on the web. I'm going to show you a way to do this very easily if you want to automate it or if you want to hire freelancers on a website like Fiverr to actually get this done for you. Now, you don't have to be on every single listing, but you should be on the main aggregators that we recommend, and I'm going to show you exactly right now. To use the listing management tool, all you're going to do is head over to SEMrush's listing managements and put your business information in and get all the details so you can find all of your listing data. So for this example, I'm going to enter in Develomark LLC, which is our agency. I'm going to enter 7 North Main Street, Southington, Connecticut. That is our street address. Our zip code is 06489 and our actual phone number is 860-359-2251. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click on check listings. And once we pull this report, we're actually going to see the listings management tool here in the dashboard. And it's important to note that a lot of this data is actually powered from Yext Knowledge Network. Now, if you're already paying for SEMrush or a tool like this is really valuable for you to see because you may not want to pay for a tool like Yext that's actually going to do all of this heavy lifting for you. But in addition to managing your business's citations, you should be going here and you should be seeing which things you're listed on and which things need changes. So you can see, for example, we're not listed on TripAdvisor, which really wouldn't make much sense since we are a business that's selling B2B services and not necessarily like a restaurant. And you can see things like Avantar. I can easily open this up right here and just basically see if there is and their site's not secure. So I don't know what's going on there, but if we wanted to get listed on a website like this, that would count towards our local SEO presence. So go in and start with Business Listings Manager and actually see how well your site is performing. As you can see, Develomark has a lot of work to do, but we're moving addresses anyways. So that's something that we'll talk about in a different video. The other feature that I really like is you can export this into a PDF version and send it to your client if you were to do that. Inside of this, you can also brand that report and put your actual logo on it. And then what you can do is you can do your client name, and then you can also basically put in listings management. And this is really nice because if you want to do listings on a manual basis, you can, doing it this way. And it's going to export it to a nice little PDF so somebody can have this printed out and start taking care of those listings that are listed in this report. So if I open this, you're going to see that I have a nice little report exported, and my team can easily see what places people aren't listed on out of the large knowledge network. These really are the ones that matter. Something to consider as well as you're going through this, you should be using your Google Maps listing as the primary title for the titles that you're going to be using for your listings and the address information in Google My Business, as well as the actual hours. So on your website, you should have it clearly displayed somewhere, your address as well as your hours and your business's actual name. This is going to prevent Google from seeing misinformation when they try to deliver your search results. And to keep this as clear as possible, just make sure that whatever your listings management report shows up in, it's what the title of your Google My Business name is. If you change your Google My Business name, you also should be changing the names in all of the directories that you already have set up. That's why a listings management feature is probably the best way to manage your online reputation and actual visibility, unless you wanted to do things more manually where you can have logins to each and every single one of those listings, which honestly at Develomark, we don't have time to do that. So we actually just pay aggregators to do that service for us, such as SEMrush or Yext. So there you have it. That's probably the best place to get started, is understanding where are you with your listings. The success of your SEO campaign really is going to come down to what you're tracking and what you're measuring. And this is why position tracking is so important. Position tracking basically tells you where you are for these search results and where you're going on a monthly basis, so you can tell if you are doing well or not. This is like not checking the scale and working out every single day. You need to check the scale to get insights as to if what you're doing is actually working. And this is so important because if you're an agency, your customers are most likely going to see this information and they're going to want to see if progress is going well. Here's how we set up position tracking at Develomark. Everybody does it a little bit differently. You can do it a little differently, but ultimately just making sure you understand where your keywords are is ultimately going to make your SEO campaign a lot better. Here's exactly how we do this using our favorite tool, SEMrush. In order to know how well you're actually doing, you're going to need to set up position tracking, which can be done exactly as if I'm going to show you right here. So the first step is inside of SEMrush, or pretty much any keyword reporting tool, you can go over to something called position tracking. And position tracking is going to allow you to actually track the movements of your clients' websites. So for this example, I'm going to go ahead and click on New Position Tracking. So for this example, I'm going to show you an example of one of these position tracking reports, and I'm going to use Rego Park Family Cosmetic Dentistry here. And really the goal of this is to configure the different types of keywords that you want to rank for in your area, and you can track any subdomain, URL, or subfolder within your target area. So for example, right now we have different 16 keywords that we are tracking for this client. If you're an agency, you may want to put in the different types of keywords that you want to track for your client in here that they're paying you to do. And so for this example, you can see that a position tracking report will tell us the keyword, the location, and the rank for that actual keyword phrase. Now, if I were to type this into the actual Google search results and search this inside of Google, I should see something that is relatively close to what's saying there. So you can see in the Google Maps, this is correct, but in the organic results, you can see that that customer is not found on the first page. But this is because this is showing you Google Maps placement. You can see that the feature here, you can see that this is local pack on the SERP, search engine results page. And so with that being said, you can actually go through this report and add keywords as well if you'd like. To add keywords, you can click on your existing keywords and put them phrase by phrase inside of here. So for example, I'm going to do best dental implants dentist Rego Park NY. Now this is a long tail keyword phrase, but I'm just trying to show you an example. You can tag your keywords. So if I wanted to tag this with dental implants, I can just for that specific tag. And then I can click on add to project. So now I'm tracking 17 keywords inside of this list, and I can update my report to actually show where that keyword phrase is ranking. So now that it's already added inside of here, you can see that best dental implants dentist Rego Park is not showing me any data as of right now, but ultimately it will show me data very shortly. One of my favorite things that the tool does is it actually allows you to change the date of the position tracking. This is showing last 7 days, but what if I wanted to see a much broader view? What if I change this to September and the 28th and I had it go to December 4th? Although this reporting is showing me in the last 7 days, we've lost 1% visibility because 16 keywords improved, 14 keywords declined. But if I change this report here, it's going to show me closer to when we actually started the campaign. So you can see that the average position, the visibility, and these stats change depending on when you actually change that filter. So if I wanted to, I can put this in August, let's say, and probably see a different result as well. So you can see that the results have also changed inside of here from August. Now, inside of the keywords report, you'll see how many are actually in the top 3 Google search results, and you can actually filter down which ones those are. The top 10s, the top 20, and the top 100. Also improved versus declined. It would be nice to live in a world where every keyword improved all of the time, but that's just not how search engines work. There's algorithms that place websites on search results pages. So now I can actually open up these 56 keyword phrases, and I can actually start to see what's ranking and what's not. And by doing this, I can also see which keywords we need to focus on using this chart. So estimated traffic, this chart, you can change it by average position. And then you can look at several keyword phrases depending on what you want to actually look at. So for example, hydrostatic test Richardson, if I were to search this on the Google search results page, you can see that our client has a featured snippet inside of here, very long tail keyword phrase, but a more targeted keyword like Dallas, Texas hydrostatic test. Number 7, let's check for the accuracy on that. 1, 2, 3. So that's actually incorrect. That needs to update. It probably will. Oh, I'm sorry. This is where they started and this is where they are. So this actually says 2. So that's actually really correct. You can see right here, Dallas, Texas plumbing. This is the one that we're definitely really proud about. This is the one that's getting our clients most of their leads. If you type this into Google, you can go to Dallas TX plumbing, and you can see out of all of the Google search ads here, our client is ranking number 4 now, or I'm sorry, number 5. They were ranking number 2 or number 1 the other day. So that's going to update, and that's actually going to show us at number 5 soon. But doing this is going to allow you to basically benchmark where you are when you started your SEO campaign. And if you have clients, you should certainly be doing this so you can really understand the workflow to getting keywords to rank higher inside of the Google search results. And with that being said, you can also do really cool things like export this as a PDF if you needed to print it out for whatever reason, or if you needed to send it to your client. Now that you're tracking your keywords, you should probably get set up on Google My Business as soon as possible the right way. Now, there's a lot of different optimizations that we can recommend for you for Google My Business, but just these simple steps that we're going to show you are going to allow you to start ranking for your keywords relatively quickly and make that position tracking keyword report actually look a little bit better. So here's the steps that we take to get a brand new Google My Business set up and actually follow some of the steps that are going to get you those high local results inside of the map sections. And then we'll talk about getting those results in the local sections, which is personally my secret weapon. So let's talk about Google My Business over the shoulder, and let's get into an actual GMB account that we use. Google My Business is often the first impression that people get about your business or brand, and it therefore cannot be ignored. Managing hundreds of different Google My Business accounts, we've gotten a pretty good scope of what works and what doesn't. The first step you should do is obviously register your Google My Business. So what you need to do here is type in your actual business's name. So in this case scenario, I would type in Develomark. Now, Google My Business is smart enough to know if your listing has actually been claimed, and it's going to ask you to go through the simple step on actually getting it set up. I recommend you choose your primary business category here instead of using some third party or other business category that's not directly within the services that you offer. You can always change and add the categories in a later date, but for now, we'll just keep it as website designer. In this step, it asks, do you want to add a location customers can visit, like a store or an office? Although you don't have to put your address physically on Google, we have seen search results do better off when there is a physical address that customers can see. And so with that being said, you're going to want to put in your actual business address inside of here. And from there, Google's going to be able to smart enough to pick up your actual address there. It's also recommended that you add your suite number inside of here if you have a suite number for your business, because it's going to be more accurate when you do your listings management later on. Then it will basically detect if you have a Google My Business. And for this example, I do have a Google My Business, so we wouldn't be able to create a new GMB for this actual location. Inside of the Google My Business dashboard, you're going to be able to edit the Google My Business to optimize it for local visibility. Now, what I recommend that you do is you start off by actually going into the info settings and actually updating this Google My Business with your title of your actual Google My Business. Remember, it is okay to put your keywords inside of your Google My Business as long as they are relevant to what your business does. Keeping your category very primary is very important for this, because that's how Google's going to detect what your business actually does. Putting in your address, your service areas, your hours are all going to be critical for your online listings management services, and you're going to want to make sure that you upload all of the pictures that you need to upload to get this to show up the highest. When we do this, we add a cover photo, a logo photo, and then all of the other photos that the client has provided us with their actual digital marketing campaign. Now, we understand that not every single campaign will be like this because some clients don't have pictures, but if you can, go in and optimize for each of these different tabs that Google has here on the actual display. What this is going to do is it's actually going to tell Google everything about your business, which is ultimately going to lead to getting more views inside of your actual local listing. Reviews can also be a great source of feedback from your existing client, and it's also really important that you reply to every single one of them. Luckily, Google has an option to where you can click on haven't replied, and you can simply click reply and let people know that you thank them for their actual review. It's really important that you respond to negative reviews as well, because when somebody searches this actual listing on the Google Maps listing, they're actually going to be able to see all of the reviews inside of here. So it's really important that if a bad review does show up, that you're going to be able to actually respond, and your facing customers are going to actually be able to see those reviews. Google Posts are a great way to let your existing customers know exactly what your business has been doing recently, but there's actually no evidence that this has a ranking factor as of right now. Now, if you want to automate this more, SEMrush has a great tool that you can actually do social media posting for, and it'll allow you to actually schedule out your Google My Business posts so you can create more content in the calendar. Google My Business does not offer this feature as of right now, but what's really cool about this is when it does become a strong ranking factor, you'll be set up to actually have your listing set up and schedule these posts. Having rich media like this definitely makes posting easier, and it's often recommended that you post once every single week on your Google Business page. Google My Business is going to get you to show up inside of your local area, but how can you get your website to show up in the different areas that you service as well? Well, this is why we've developed a killer local SEO strategy using local content that's going to allow you to make pages in your area that you're servicing without getting slammed by a Google penalty. And I'll be honest with you, this is one of our secret weapons, and I really didn't want to share it today, but I have to. And so with that being said, let's go over the shoulder, and I'm going to show you exactly how we communicate with our clients at Develomark, and you can use this same strategy within your business, or if you're an agency, you can use it with your client's business. So let's get into that right now, and I'm going to show you how to create consistent local SEO pages that rank in almost any town that you've done work in. Creating local content can be something that is unclear, and pages like this often show up well inside of the Google search results if you're trying to rank your website or your client's website in the local results page. But how can you consistently rank local town content like this, which is often the question that we get asked the most when we're doing local SEO for a client? Well, I'm going to show you exactly how we do this at our agency, and you can replicate this for you and your business or your client's businesses inside of your marketing agency. One of the best ways to create local engaging content in those areas naturally without being penalized by Google search engine is engaging with your company or your client in creating something that we call a website content survey. This is a small link that we place at the footer section of all of our clients' websites that when they click, they can log in to a password protected page that's actually going to ask them to upload every project that they do inside of their business. This survey includes things like answering the technician's name, when the job was completed, what location the job was done, what was done for that job, products that were used, and describing what was done, and then uploading before and after images of the most recently completed project. From there, you should have a nice survey that looks like this from the client or your own business, and you can now develop what's called a local SEO page, very similar to the one that we see here when you click. This is an example of that page actually being built with the information that the client has provided. So with that being said, let's jump into the back end of our website editor and make one of these pages using the content that was provided from this actual recent survey this morning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this into another screen that you just can't see, and I'm going to go ahead and go into the back end of the editor. I'm going to start by going into pages, and I'm going to go into the service area folder, and I'm going to simply duplicate this Collegeville, PA location page. Now, what's important is inside of the survey, I was notified that the work that was done for this page was actually in Gladwin, PA. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this page, and I'm going to name it Gladwin, PA zip code. And then once I duplicate, it's going to save that actual page template inside of my website editor. And then I'm going to put this under service area. So now you can see inside of the service area box, Gladwin, PA also drops down. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and edit the title tag, but I'm not just going to edit it for no reason. I'm actually going to go ahead and edit it for SEO purposes. So up at the top right here, I'm going to go ahead and put pressure washing because that keyword should always be in the URL. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and read the survey. The survey is saying that the client did house washing, power washing, and soft washing. So I'm going to go ahead and type that into the actual title tag. I'm going to change this to the location that they did the work in. I'm going to do power washing, and you can see there that I've entered the location, the zip code, exterior, power washing, pressure wash, soft washing. My goal is to fill up this title tag as much as possible and keep it under 70 characters. Now, with that being said, you need to have also a unique meta description for every page on the website. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and copy the description that they gave us and put it inside of the actual meta tag. I'm going to copy edit this to make sure that all of the text is in clear English. Now that that's done, I can go in and actually start to edit the page. Now, while doing this, I'm going to use Duda's responsive editor to actually get this done. So for example, you can see that inside of the actual editor, I'm editing the right page because I see Gladwin, PA pressure washing. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to change this text right here to Gladwin, PA, and I maybe stretch this out just a little bit more. Now the client also provided images, so I want to see what these images are, so I'm going to go ahead and simply download them. As I download them, I'm going to go in and actually upload them to the website so I can use them for this actual page. Doing this is important because I want to make sure that I have the correct information and rich media for this page specifically, instead of having duplicate content or just not rich media that actually doesn't make sense for this page. And Google's going to prioritize this once we do rich snippets, and is actually going to show the images inside of the Google search. So for this example, I'm going to go ahead and just delete this image, and I'm going to grab inside of my widgets a before and after tab here. I'm going to drop this before and after tabs inside of here, and I'm going to upload these images inside of here. So this is going to be the before, and then this is going to be the after image. And this is really nice because it creates like a small slider for people to take a look at. And also what you want to do is you want to make sure you enter in an alt tag. So for the alt tag, I'm going to do soft wash exterior before image, and then I'm going to do soft wash exterior after image. And now that I have image alt tags, that's good to go. You can see how the photo is a little too long here, so I'm gonna break this down. Oops, I don't wanna move this. I just wanna make sure that it's smaller. I'm gonna break this down so it's in perspective of the actual image's natural size. So now you can see that this image, if a homeowner were to go onto this website, they can actually do this before and after and see the work that's been done. Now, you can also actually make this a little bit longer or just one image, but that's completely up to you on how you want to do that. Now here, for the H1 tag and the H3 tag, we certainly want to make sure that this is something that is completely unique. So here, what I'm going to do is, I'm not sure what type of siding this is. It would have been great if they told us the type of siding that it is, but I'm going to do exterior, home, soft washing. And then under here, I'm going to keep the same thing, removing mold, mildew, algae, and damage of your home. And inside of here, I'm going to want to write a unique descriptive text because I want to make sure that this page is going to qualify to show up in search results. And so there we have it. So if you read this, you can see that the text is completely unique compared to the other page. And I write the text in almost a way that the homeowner can kind of agree with. And the text reads, if you're like most homeowners, you care about the appearance of your home's exterior and its curb appeal. Whether you are planning on selling your home or just want to make sure it looks amazing, Maintain It All Soft Washing can help you accomplish your goals with your soft washing products and services. Serving Gladwin, PA, which is the location we're targeting. We offer power washing, pressure washing, power washing. Okay, so you can see that that's actually, this should be soft washing. That's why we copy edit these pages. To residential and commercial customers throughout Gladwin. Now, the point of this is we want this text to be as unique as possible. I kept this text here, the call to action text, exactly the same. The only thing that I did was I replaced the actual location that we were targeting. So instead of anything on here actually saying Collegeville, which you can simply do a control find and type in college, you actually can't find anything on this page that says Collegeville unless you hover over this small service area link that you can see right there. So with that being said, let's check the mobile version because we want to make sure mobile is one of the most important things. Mobile should be responsive to mobile screens, the page should load quickly, and the mobile site should be easy to navigate. One thing that you can see right here, because Duda's editor is called multi-screen site, you'll actually have to change this on mobile, and then the homeowner can actually go in and do that. But then you can see that the text looks good, all looks great here, etc. Now, one thing that I might add to this page is maybe a call to action right above here. So instead of just having this, I can do something like call, I don't know, Maintain It All's phone number. I'm sorry, let me just grab it. Call this number right here, 4760. It looks like I can't copy it, unfortunately. But call this number. Let me see if I can use Duda's connected data to do this. Yes, looks like I can. Call for a free estimate today. And you can do that. You can have just like a basic call to action there. And this right here, obviously you would want this linked. So I would actually link this for a click to call on mobile. Only because people definitely want to, if they click that, we want to make sure they can call. And I might just make that a different color so people know that it's click worthy, or I might even underline this so people know that it's click worthy as well. And then you have your text, you have your different ways, and then basically this page is well written. So once I publish this page using that content survey that we give to our clients, generally speaking, this page takes about a day or two to actually rank. So on their live site, and I'll link this example down below, you can see that service area is now Gladwin and this page is ranking. So obviously this page is not going to show up on the Google search results for a few days. And you can see that the pictures looks great. But what you can do is you can actually go to Google. If you ever want to check to see if a page is showing up, type in the exact URL, and you can see that it's not showing up. Although, if I go back to the actual website and I go to the Collegeville, PA page, if I type this into Google search, the URL inside of the search bar, that it is showing up inside of here, meaning that it is actually indexed. Because Google removed manual indexing very recently, you actually can't force an index to actually show up very quickly, and because of that, you're just going to have to wait. But ultimately, this is a great strategy to work with your own business or to work with your clients on actually getting more and more local pages set up relatively quickly. So with that being said, guys, I wanted to lay out some next steps on how to get more search engine visibility. If you're mastered this local SEO stuff, your next step to get you showing up higher is to start learning about Google Ads and Google Local Service Ads. Local service ads are a great way to get your business to show up in the Google Guarantee checkbox, and if your business qualifies for it, you don't have time to waste to actually get that done. And what I like to do is I like to stay up to date as much as possible with Google's recent changes by creating a Google alert in my phone every time SEO is mentioned on a popular news website, or if Google mentions SEO in their Google Webmaster Forum, so I, as an SEO, can stay up to date as much as possible. With that being said, everyone, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.